So I was watching a video on YouTube, and the lady, I think she's from the US, and she was talking about how her friend has her prosthetic device, that's her prosthesis, and her foot, that's the socket and the foot, covered by insurance. So she gets to change it every year, or I think it's every 2 years. And then for her, she has her silicone liner covered by insurance. So she has to change it every 6 months. So every 6 months, she gets a new silicone liner. Whether the old one is bad or not, she gets a new silicone liner. Now, that is a country where things work, where assistive devices are being covered by insurance. And that is one of the things that we are struggling for in Nigeria, because we need, especially prosthetic devices, to be covered by insurance. At least components of these devices should be covered by insurance, because it is way too expensive for one person to fund. I mean, it's crazy, but it's something that I had a discussion with a professor, I think in Florida Gulf Coast University, and he was talking about, oh, we make this, we make that. I was like, oh, we don't really have these things covered by insurance. I'm like, what? Like, okay, he was like, so you get all these components by yourself. And for Nigeria, we don't run a credit system. We run a debit system. We pay with cash. We pay things as it is. So if you don't have the money, you can't get a commodity. And it's crazy for amputees in Nigeria, because I will speak because I am an amputee and I know what I go through. Getting a socket change is hard, because you having a socket for at least, let's say, 3 years means you have to keep the same weight. So you can't put on some weight, or you can't lose weight. If not, you cannot fit into your socket. And then getting the silicone liner, because the silicone liner gets to wear out and it's expensive. These components separately are expensive. Putting them together is still expensive, and the average Nigerian cannot afford a good prosthetic device. And it's crazy, because it's not something you use for a lifetime. It's something you get to change. Just like a car, you get to change some parts, you get to like service the engine. That's the same thing that happens when you use a prosthetic device. So I want to show you some components, some prosthetic device. Like, basically, like, most people don't really know what a prosthetic device is, or how it looks, or what each component is called. So I have some components with me, and I would love to school you through the things. So walk with me. This is called a socket. This part, like this, is called a socket. So I am a below the knee amputee. When you lose two of your legs below the knee, you're called a bilateral amputee. But for one person, it's called a unilateral amputee. So I am a unilateral below the knee amputee, and this is how a socket for a below the knee amputee should look. And so this is where the stump, the remaining part of the leg that they didn't cut, will have to enter for you to have balance. This is very important in a prosthesis, because without this, you cannot use this. So it's basically a very important part of a prosthesis. So if you lose weight, you're on your own. If you gain weight, you're on your own. You have to change this regularly if your weight fluctuates. So you have to keep a stable weight. Then this is called a pylon. So pylon is basically like, I see it like the bone. They connect the socket to the foot. So this is a foot. It's called a sash foot. So this is like the basic. This is like the basic, most basic foot you can get. It's like the cheapest. Yeah, it's like the cheapest foot you could get, and it's just something that would carry your basic activities, not high when you're very active. So if you're very, very active, I will not recommend you using this, because it can break. But I changed mine some years back. So it breaks, like it breaks. You are walking and your leg just disappear. It's crazy. But so this is basically a socket. Very important. Never forget the sockets. Now, for those who have money, you could get this. So this is a recycled prosthetic foot. It's called a flex foot by Osso. And Osso is like one of the biggest brand for prosthetic components. So this is like a foot, and this can last. It's way better than the sash foot. So this would last for a long time, like basically. And I prefer it when it has this, so you could wear your slippers or whatever. it's just looks like a foot. So you can't wear this like this. You need a foot shell to wear this. So it means if you're buying this, you have to buy a foot shell. So I got a foot shell, but it's broken. So this is it. It's broken, but this is what a foot shell looks like. So it looks like a foot basically. Okay, so this is a foot shell, but it's broken. But this is basically what a foot shell looks like. So buying this is expensive. Buying this is expensive. Buying it together is crazy. So it goes into this like this. So you have your foot. So like the foot has grades. You go to market to buy guy has grade one, grade two. The foot has grade. Like the higher the grade, the more expensive the leg is. So you see like a below knee amputee prosthetic going for like 5 million naira, 10 million naira, 50 million naira, 250 million naira. Then this is a silicone liner. So it's not really all amputees that use silicone liner. There are different types of I don't know what they call it. I'm not a prosthetist, so I don't really know the name, but there are different types of this thing. So this is the silicone liner. This is crazy because I hate it during heat season when the weather is hot and you wear this. The moment you remove it, the kind of water is be as if they are raining on your parade. Like water will start falling out of this thing. But well, this is a silicone liner, and this alone is almost up to 500k. So it's expensive. It's expensive. I have to manage. I'm managing this one and saving for the next one that I will need. So it's basically like I'm looking forward to saving for the next silicone liner because it's very important, especially since I use a bulldog locking system kind of processes. So it's called a bulldog locking system because of this. It's so when I put my leg in the silicone liner and I hook it, I put the leg into this. I got I put it into this place. It locks. So if I want to release the leg, I just have to press this. So somebody can just press this and release this leg and run it with my leg. I will follow you. I will hop my leg and push you. So this is silicone liner is very important, especially if you're using a liner, liner, whatever the medical term is. Now this is so are you saying oh, oh, so this is what I use for this is an yeah, antioxidant cream. So this is what I rub on my stump. So the part of the leg that goes into these socks. I wear these socks to reduce heat and friction. So I wear these socks, like a specific socks for wearing before you put your silicone liner and put your leg. So the leg is padded. Like that part of my leg looks like a baby's bump. Like it's so smooth and fresh. That's how the part of my leg looks. But this I apply to prevent rashes and any other skin issues. And then, last but not the least, this. So this is called a running blade or a cheetah model, whatever it is called. Like it's so most people think that when they lose their legs, they can't run again. But well, thanks to technology, even though it's expensive, you can always run again with a price. You have to run when you have money. So if you have this, it's like the most expensive um prosthetic component. And in most cases it's not covered by insurance, even in the US. I don't think most people have insurance backing them having a running blade or a cheetah model running blade. So this gives you that speed. I mean, you might not be perfect, running with your leg and all, but it gives you that speed. I'm trying to remember this guy's name. This guy, yes, him, yeah. So he is, basically he's a running blade and all. So you see, so this is kind of like the place that goes to the ground. It's like a footballer's sock, a footballer's um, canvas. What do they call it? The shoe boot, a footballer's boot. You know how it has spikes, so it has spikes to hook to the ground, whatever kind of surface it is. But this is like the most expensive prosthetic components, and you need a socket. So I don't have a socket, so it's just in my room. So you just need a socket, kind of. You can use it. So I don't have a socket, so I can't run for now. Maybe when I have money to buy sockets, two sockets for this specifically. So there are other kinds of foot that they have. Now the other kinds of foot gives you the ability to wear heels. So you know how to say, oh, I'm gonna pity, I lost my leg, I can't wear heels. You can wear heels with a price. I mean, I keep saying with a price because everything comes with a price when you're an amputee. No things like you take for granted. You walk, you wake up, put on a slip on, you can run, you can be crazy. Everything comes with a price for an amputee. I can't run unless I have the money to buy a leg that can run. I can't wear heels unless I have the money to buy a leg that can wear heels. So basically, that is the life of an amputee. Technology gives you a simulation of what life would be. You just have like the second hand. I call it second hand, but it just gives you that edge. So you could run, you could wear heels, you could be sexy, you could be anything, but it comes with a price.